Alright, so, as of this video is being uploaded, or already up, as you can see, I'm already back at school already. But this is being filmed on, nearing the end of summer vacation, and one of the days I'm off for the Little League World Series as a volunteer. And I decided to do this. I was thinking about doing this review for a while, and I decided, since the 29th will be coming soon, about, as of the recording, but the day as the video is being uploaded, I decided to finally do this. And that is, of course, a review of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. One of my all-time favorite movies, and probably my summer vacation movie, I would say. As we all know, the 1971 classic film is directed by Mel Stewart. Not Mel Brooks, Mel Stewart. And of course, it's based on the children's book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl, which he did the screenplay for it. Or kind of. As we all know, the film focuses on a young kid named Charlie Bucket, who is, of course, the luckiest boy in the world. Well, he didn't know it yet, to quote the 2005 Tim Burton remake, as he lives with 4 ridden grandparents and his mother. And his job is usually to deliver newspapers after school, since his father had passed away before even this film began. Just then, the entire world heard that the famous Candyman, Willy Wonka, played by Gene Wilder, was having people to come back to his factory after many years since his reopening, and he announced that there are 5 hidden golden tickets in 5 ordinary Wonka chocolate bars all around the world, so they can have a winning chance to go to see the factory at Wonka's area. The 4 kids that found the 4 tickets were Augustus Gloop from Germany, Veruca Salt from England, Violet Beauregard from America, Mike TV, also from America, and the 5th one, which was originally announced, it was a guy from Paraguay, South America, but it was later on as a fraud. Charlie found a coin on the gutter, and then he decided to buy a Wonka bar, and he found the final ticket was a fraud, opens it, gets the 5th golden ticket, and races home. However, there was a sinister guy named Arthur Slugworth, president of Slugworth Chocolates Incorporated. Sorry, I had to do that. I did that on purpose. And he was telling all the 5 kids to get him the everlasting Gobstopper, a new candy invention that Wonka was making. And for Charlie, and he was going to award him $10,000, a new house for their family, and good food and comfort for the rest of their lives. I don't know what the other awards would have been, but I guaranteed Augustus would be a lifetime supply of food. Veruca would definitely be anything that she really wanted that Slugwood would get her for. Violet would just have an official gum-chewing trophy, I'm guessing. And Mike would just have big masses of TVs, or finally got to be on a Western television show. And for Charlie, the money kind of makes sense. I don't know, that was just my guess. We don't know what the 4 others' reward would be, but we know what Charlie's award was. Anyways, Grandpa Joe, played by Jack Albertson, had finally came out of bed to go to Charlie to the factory and meet the one and only Willy Wonka, played by the late, great Gene Wilder. And that's why this review is important, because August 29th will mark the 1-year anniversary of his passing. All the 5 kids and parents, including Grandpa Joe, got to go around Wonka's factory from the chocolate room, to the inventing room, to the fizzy-lifting drink room, to the golden geese room, and to the television room, with the additional things of a Wonka-mobile, a Wonka Vader, and of course the famous Wonkatania with this creepy tunnel scene. Now, I don't need any explanation that this film is really fantastic. I mean, seriously. You got a really recognizable cast, you got great songs, but some visuals would be kind of lack as of looking at today, most notably the chocolate room, and of course, the boat and the inventing room. Some of them don't make sense as they used to be originally, but they are kind of what they are back then. It was 1970s, and if people were wondering, no, I'm not going to be talking about Tim Burton's remake in this review. But anyways, there are a lot of scenes that I really do remember. I think when the start of the factory begins, that's when I think my favorite portion of the movie comes, because I know there are some great moments in the scenes where everyone's trying to find the tickets, from the dude with the psychiatrist, the dude with the computer, and even the royalty showing up for an auction, and even that murder thing of a woman who wanted to have her husband's life over a case of Wonka bars, but they were for comedic humor for adults, and because it said that Wonka did not say he was looking for 5 children in this one, but everyone in the world was trying to do it. That's why the remake kind of did that, and explained that he wanted 5 children and not adults. Even though I'm kind of referencing a little bit of Burton's remake here, but that was just something I was curious about. As for the songs themselves, they are of course memorable. All except for Cheer Up Charlie. And I think everyone agrees with me that Cheer Up Charlie is probably the weakest and worst song that comes from this film. And every time when that scene would come up, you skip that scene, and you would go directly to Mike TV's scene. But not also this film is really memorable with a lot of great scenes, but also line-worthy as well. And of course, most notably comes from Wonka himself. And that's where we come to probably the biggest thing about this movie, Gene Wilder's performance as Wonka. Now, of course, when he comes out of the factory hobbling the cane, losing and doing a somersault, that was him to convince Mel Stewart to do the role for the film, which he accepted. And a lot of things just really surprised everybody, from his big scream in the tunnel scene, to many different reactions, to him just singing in the Wonka-mobile, and of course the springtime thing in the inventing room. You name it. But my favorite line in the entire movie is, of course, "What is this, Wonka? Some kind of funhouse?" Why, having fun? Because that line was just so hilarious. It's probably the best one because it feels like you are in a fun house with that scene alone. You just went from the room that you just entered, and then you just went to a complete room that just goes kind of like a slanted angle like this, going through a weird tunnel, to a lickable wallpaper, to a bubble, to geese, to a crazy Wonka-mobile with a Hashawagala, which is Wonka Wash spelled backwards, and many crazy things. It does feel like Wonka's Factory is a fun house. But there are a lot of memorable lines as well, and all the actors here are really great with their performances, including the parents, the kids, and everybody. But Wilder was probably the reason why he brought this movie up. I don't need any more recommendations for this review, because it's a classic. It was probably one of the biggest name movies you can think of from the 1970s. Next to Jaws, the first Rocky, the first 2 Godfathers movies, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and of course, Star Wars. But now, let's go into why I wanted to do this review, and particularly to pay a tribute to Gene Wilder. Because of course, as you can see in the description below, the date is August 29th, 2017. Because August 29th last year marked the day when he was announced dead. And this was really touching for me. Now, everyone, of course, has a big death they would remember in 2016, because that was probably the biggest moment that happened that year, other than the disgraced presidential election last year. And the amount of deaths. People would say their death of the year is Prince, some people would say David Bowie, some people would say Carrie Fisher, who died near the end of the year, but for me, that is Gene Wilder. And here in the Williamsport area, we were just, of course, getting ready to end the summer at the Little League World Series. The United States won the World Championship since 2011 with the team from Maine and New York. And then, of course, that means in the Williamsport region, we would go back to school. And after the first day of school ended, one of my favorite YouTube users, Matt Brunet, aka ElectraDragon505, quote retweeted a news article that Gene Wilder was announced dead. And I was just devastated. I was the closest thing for me actually crying or teary-eyed of a great celebrity from one of my all-time favorite movies. It just really touched me when I saw that article. And what happened was he died from complications with Alzheimer's disease, which a year later country singer Glenn Campbell would die from Alzheimer's disease, which he passed away earlier this month. And this is kind of sad to see a legendary comedian go. So thank you guys for watching this special tribute review of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I know it's not probably professional because it's kind of mainly an emotional tribute to Gene Wilder itself, but probably not the best review you've seen on this channel, but I need to do this just to reach the deadline here. For those who are new to my channel, you can hit that subscribe button, and also check out all my social media links in the description below, and check out my other reviews on the channel. And the next video, you guys are getting ready, because the next video will be the return of the football vlogs on September 1st, which is the first home football game of my senior year in high school for the 2017 Waynesboro Area High School football season.